Numbers review, here we go. If the sum of the numbers is just divisible by 9, then the number is divisible by 9. True. What's the correct response? So remember, when you're doing decimal addition and subtraction, you line up the numbers via place value. Make sure you write the numbers down correctly. And I can use a placeholder there because you need that. 1 subtract 0 is 1. Borrow from here, so that is 4. Gotta borrow again. That's an 8. And then we gotta borrow again. 15 over 7 is 8, and then that is a 5. So A, 223.8704 divided by something equals 59.0 or 54. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can do this. We can go this divided by this gives me this, but we're doing this longhand. We're not doing it with a calculator. So then I could go and multiply this by each of these. Now remember the rules of multiplication. When we stack our numbers, we count the amount of decimal places. That's our answer. So one little tip on this one. If I stack this times this, my answer is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places. This one only has 4, so it can't be this one. Same with this one. There's 3 decimals, plus 2 decimals is 5. So I think it's this one. So here's what I'm going to do to make sure. I think it's B. I'm going to multiply this times this and see if it gets me that. 59.54 times 3.76. Okay, so we'll multiply this out and then we'll see what it gets. And then I count my decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is correct answer. There you go. Identify the following expression has operation signs plus an X inserted, or add and multiply inserted correctly into blanks to make the following statement true. Oh, wow. This one's going to be a bunch of work, isn't it? So I'm going to get, I think it's this one here. I think it's add, and multiply, because this is going to give me 10 and a bit, plus that 10 and a bit should give me there. So let's try that. So we're going to go 2.2 times 5.1. Okay, so that's a
2.2 and a 0 is going to be a 10, and that's a 10, 11. Okay, now we've got 2 decimals. We're going to add this up. Okay, and then our next move is
3.4 and 6.9. So it's a 2. 9 and 6 is 15. 6, 9, 11, 12. 6, 9, 10, 11. Wow. 21. So didn't quite get there. So that's not right. Okay, so the only other one it could be then would be A. So positive or add, multiply, add. So we multiply this first.
6.9 times 2.2. Okay, so that's 18, 12, 13. 0, 18, 12, 13. So it's 8, 11.
It's got to be something over here. Oh, that's what it is. It's 15. So that's a 5. So that's a 3. There we go. Okay, so A it is. B that one was. This one's going to take forever. Identify the expression with the operation sign, subtract or multiply, insert it correctly to make it true. So 37, so it can't be multiplied, so this one has to be subtract. So let's figure out the multiplying first. You can multiply twice, because 4 times 3 is 12 times 8. Gets me way more than 14, so this one's out. So 4.1 times 3.7. So there's a 7, there's a 28, there's a 3, and there's a 12. Add these up, 7, 11, 5, and 1. 2 decimal places, so that's 15.17. Okay, so now I can do 37.92 subtract 15.17. Then I got to subtract that. So this is an 8, that's a 12, so that's 5, 7, 2, and 2. Now I have to subtract 8.7. Put a 0 there. Get this out of the way. 5 subtract 0 is 5, 0. Oh, look, we're looking good. We've got 1, there's a 12, 4, 1. Oh, there we go. So D it is. What's the result of this plus this in lowest terms? Okay, so our first thing again for fractions, you got to have a common denominator. So you do these are not, 9 is not a factor of 12, and 12 is not a multiple of 9. So we're going to have to go to the lowest common multiple of all of these. So you remember, use the biggest one, 12, 24, 9 doesn't go to 24, 36. Okay, so all those go into 36s. So we're going to make this. So 9 times 4 times 4 times 9 times 9 times 3 times 3. So first this one. So it's going to be 9 times 4 is 36. And then 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 9 is 36. 1 times 9 goes on top. 12 times 3, 36. And then 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, now we have common denominators. We can add those together. So 15 plus 9 is 24. Plus 4 is 28 over 36. Now, are we going to see that in here? Probably not. So we're going to have to reduce it. Bare minimum, we're going to divide that. We could divide this by 4. And that would be 7 over 9. Is that one here? Yep, C. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. We're doing subtraction, but we still have to have the same thing. We need a common denominator. So 4 doesn't go into 10. So you think the lowest common multiples, again, use the big one. 10, nope. 20, yes. Okay, so we're going to go to 20s. 20, and then subtract 20. So times this one by 2, so then that is 6. 5 you times by 4, so that's a 4. And then 4 you times by 5, so then that's a 15. 15 subtract 4 is 11. 11 subtract 6. 5 over 20. No 5 over 20 there because I can reduce it. 20 or 5 is a factor of 20, so divide it both by 5. So it'll give me 1/4 B. That's good times. Oh, another one here. Calculate this one. So again, we got a common denominator. So multiples of 10. 10, 20. Nope, 8 doesn't go to 20. 30, nope. 40, yes, 8 goes to 40, so we're going to do 40. So this is times 4. So that one's 36 over 40. Subtract times, what gets it to 40? 8. So 8 times 2 is 16 over 40. And then what gets 8 to 45? So times them both by 5, so that's 5 over 40. So put these together, they're 21. 36 subtract 21, okay, is going to be 15 over 40. 15 over 40 is not here, so we got to reduce this. We can divide both by 5. So that's going to be 3 over 8. So B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of 12. And then they put in there 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 12. That is dumb. Okay, and that gives me 9 out of 12, which reduces to 3 over 4. So B it is. That's a weird question. All right, number 10, which equation best represents the following diagram? So here we've got, it's over 9, 7 over 9, subtract 2, 4, 6, 7 out of 8, 9, 10, 7 out of 12. So 7 out of 12, yeah, this is the only one, A. All right, express the answer to 2/3 plus 3/4. Subtract 5/6. Okay, again, we'll try and do that here. So we got to find a common denominator. 2/3 plus 3/4, subtract 5 over 6. Okay, so the lowest common multiple of these is 12. So we're going to change them all to 12s. Okay, so this is going to be times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So that's 8. 4 times 3 is 12, so that's a 9. And then times 2, so that's 10. So here we've got 17, subtract 10 equals 7 over 12. So A. Express the solution for 3 4/5 plus 2 and 5 over 6. Okay, and then we're going to subtract 1 2/3. After that, oh, you didn't even see how I wrote that. There we go. Okay, so we'll do this part first. So we're gonna find a common denominator for 5 and 6 and 3. So that's gonna be 30. So put them all over 30. So this one's times 10, so that's 20. This one's times 5, so that's 25. And this one's times 6, so that's 24. Okay, so 24 plus 25 is 49 over 30. 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, so now we're going to subtract. So we got 49 subtract 20 is 29 over 30. And 5 subtract 1 is 4. So 4 and 29 over 30, which is B. Calculate, okay, another one here. 4 and 1 over 6 plus 2 and 5, 6. That right there. 1 6 plus 5 6 is 6 out of 6, which is 1 whole. So already we have 7. Okay, so we have 7, subtract 1 3/4. Okay, 7 subtract 1 3/4. So here's what I'm going to do. I have no fraction there, so I'm going to borrow one. So this is a 6, and then I'm going to borrow a 4 out of 4, which is just a whole. So 4 out of 4 subtract 3 out of 4 is 1/4, 5 1/4. So that's B. That was a pretty fancy one. All right, which of the best set of integers describes ground level? So ground level is 0. So all these work for 0 first. 2 meters underground, so that would be a -2, and 9 above, positive 9, so C. Opposite integers can be any two integers. Excuse me. Where one can be divided by another? No. With different numbers, numerals, but the same signs? No. With opposing signs? Yes, but that's not everything. With the same numerals but opposite signs? Yes, D. On a horizontal number line, so horizontal is this way, +4, so let's put a 4 over here, and then +1's over here, right? Because 0's here, so we go across there. So 4 is closer to 0 than 1. No. 4 is further left than 1. No. 4 is further right than 1. Yes. It's on a different number line than 1. Okay, C. All right, up here, the integer sum shown by the arrow to the number. Okay, so remember, so the final answer is just where the top arrow ends. So the top arrow ends at C, 6. What's the correct fraction form of 0.8? So remember, a decimal to a fraction, we put the whole decimal number is the numerator, and then we're over the place value of this, the final decimal place to the right. So that's tenths. So it's 8 over 10, A. What is the decimal equivalent to 12.5? All right, so if I've got percent, to turn to percent to a decimal, I divide it by 100. Okay, so we are at C. What type of a decimal is the number 0.833333? Continue. That is a repeating decimal. B. If I was going to write that properly, I would do 0.83 with a bar over the 3. Order these fractions from least to greatest. Okay, the easiest way with this is, one, you could just put them in percent. That would really be easy. Or you could put them in decimals, either way. Okay, so 3 divided by 20 puts it in a decimal. 0.15. 0.15. Okay, 1 out of 5 divided by 5 is 0.2. So that's 0.20. 1/2 is 0.5, as you know, and 1/4 is 0.25. So least to greatest, so the least would be the 15, and then would be 20, and then would be 25, and then 50. So this is going to be last, and then we're in order. So we need to find the one with the 3 over 20, which is D, and then that, perfect D. Jake scored these marks on 4 tests, 4 out of 5, 0.75, 18 out of 20, and 0.85. What's his highest test mark? Well, that one's 85%. So remember, a decimal, you just times it by 100. 18 out of 20, we'll go 18 divided by 20 times 100 equals 90. So this one's 90. 75 you times by 100, so that's 75%. And then 4 divided by 5 times 100. That one's 80. Okay, so his highest score is the 18 out of 20. C. Which fraction is smaller than 0.28? So again, we just turn these into decimals. Numerator divided by denominator. So 0.4. 3 divided by 9 is 0.3 repeated. 8 divided by 25 equals 0.32. Well, so far, none of them are smaller than that. So hopefully this one is 9 divided by 36. There you go, 0.25. Pencil broke. So D. Stephanie got 80% on her math test. Well done, Stephanie. If there were 50 questions on the test, worth more, how many? Okay, so now we just want to find 80% of 50. So finding percent of a number, turn the percent to a decimal, and then multiply it by the number. So remember, 80 divided by 100 turns it to a decimal. Multiply that by the number, which is, in this case, 50. C is our answer. In a school survey, 25% of students were wearing baseball caps. What fraction of students surveyed were wearing baseball caps? So 25% as a fraction is a quarter. A. What fraction can be written as 66.6 repeated percent? So 1 divided by 6 times 100 is 16%. No. 1 divided by 3, no, that's going to be 33. I knew that one. 3 divided by 5 is just 60. So no. So D is the answer. Lori gets a 3% commission for selling a house that costs $175,000. How much commission will she receive? So we need to find 3% of $175,000. So 3% divided by 100. Oh, stop it. 3% divided by 100. Okay, and I'm going to multiply that by 175,000 to 175,000 equals 5,250. 5,250. C. That was fun. Next, arrange the numbers 0.55, 3 over 7, and 60% in ascending order. So that means smallest to largest. So we're going to turn them all into percents. So 0.55 times 100 is 55%. Now we've got to figure out where 3 divided by 7 is. It's less than 50, I know that. So it's times 100, you can see the percent. So it's 42.9%. So this one is first, second, third. So 3 over 7, 55. Okay, so B. What addition statement is represented here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 1 out of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 out of 6. We're adding 1 out of 6 and 1 out of 6. Wow, that was a tough question. C. That equals 2 out of 6, by the way, which will reduce to 1 out of 1/3. All right, what is the difference of the subtraction statement shown in the diagram? What's the difference? In other words, what's the answer after we subtract these 3 parts? Well, we're left with 1 part behind out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're left with 1/6. D. Okay, you have 0.145 kilograms of nacho chips. Yummy. 0.280 kilograms of ketchup chips. Not bad. 0.195 cheesies. Cheese is pretty good. I like jalapeno ones. And 0.210 kilograms of nuts. Nuts! Left in their bags. How much more snack food do you need to create a bowl of 1 kilogram of snack mix? All right, so we're going to add those all together and then subtract that from one whole. Okay, there's no space here for some random reason, but that's okay. 1.45, 0.280, 0.195, and 0.210. Okay, there's our, so we're going to add those up. That's 10. Okay, so that's 10, 22, 23, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and then those are all zeros. Okay, so we've got 0.83 out of 1. So that's 1 whole, subtract 0.830. Well, we don't need those last 2 zeros, but Okay, so we're going to borrow from here and make that a 0, and this is a 10. We're going to borrow from the 10, make it a 9, make that a 10. So 7, 1, so 7.17 kilograms is what we need. So that's for 32, 1. Section of the belt where the holes are to be punched is 20 centimeters long.
The holes must be placed 2.5 centimeters apart, with the first hole being 2.8 from the end of the belt.
What's the greatest number of holes that will fit the space available? Okay, so all we're going to do here is we're going to take the 20 and we're going to divide that 20 into 2.8 centimeter spaces. Kind of a decimal, so we're going to move that decimal place one place, put a 0 there, dot 0. Okay, so 28 doesn't go into 2, 28 doesn't go into 20, 28 into 200. Let's think about 25 would be 8. We'll do one less. Would be, let's try 28 times 7. So it can't go into 24. So we're going to have to bring down another one. So that will be going to go into 240. So we were at 196 plus any. Oh, look at that. If I go in 8 times. So 20 divided by 2.8. Oh, it just keeps going and going and going. Because it's 240. Yeah. So 240 would work, but then there's some more numbers after. Okay, we'll just stop it there and say that it goes in 7 times. In addition, what addition statement is shown here? So remember, we start the first one, so from 0 to negative, so it's negative 7. Plus, from negative 7 up to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So plus, positive. Oh, it just shows it right there. Come on, Davis. And then plus a negative 3. That's what's shown. And then our answer, of course, is where this one ends, which is negative 2. B, this is fairly easy. Why is it this kind of dumb question? 2 plus negative 10 plus 7 equals, where does it end? Negative 1. Boom, shakalaka. The temperature at Williams Lake at lunchtime was negative 6. Wow, that's a real paradise. That night, the temperature dropped to negative 23. So it was at negative 6, dropped to negative 23. Determine the change in temperature between lunch time and later that night. So I would just take that. So I'm at negative 6, and I go all the way down to negative 23. Okay, negative 23. So the difference between those two, you're gonna just basically you're gonna go negative 23. Or you're just gonna go 23 subtract 6, tells you the difference there. 17 degrees. That's the change in temperature. Now it dropped 17, negative 17, but the difference determine the change is 17-degree difference. All right, that's it.